I want to approach a Black woman, but I'm not sure how to do it. This is a comment/question that I get pretty consistently, either via email or in the comment section down below. And for my male followers who want to pursue Black women romantically but aren't sure how to take that initial step, this video is for you. And here are the 4, I think, pretty simple ways in which you can approach Black women to hopefully win over the heart of that Black woman. So for my first tip, I feel like there are some men who are either going to roll their eyes or who are going to click off this video. And before you do that, I hope you give me a chance to explain, because I know that the stakes feel high in this situation, but I genuinely feel like there are great rewards that can be reaped from this. So my first tip is that if you see a Black woman who is out with her friends, whether that is at the bar, at a restaurant, at the mall, just like at a place that would be conducive to her being out with her friends, it would make a huge impression on her, and most likely in a positive way, if you approached her while she's with her friends. Now, I always tell women who are looking to be approached by men, it's easier to do it when you're either alone, or it's easier when you're with like just one other person. And that like groups can kind of scare people off from approaching you, because nobody wants to be rejected in front of like multiple people, right? Like, no one wants to be rejected by anyone, but you definitely don't want to have to face rejection among multiple people, in front of multiple people. And at the same time, as someone who has been approached when I'm with like a group of girlfriends, that you doing that as a man shows me like, wow, like you are a confident person, and confidence is like, it's just evergreen, right? Like it's always attractive. It's always gonna like boost your points in the dating world when you have confidence. But also, especially if you don't dismiss the existence of my other friends, like if you're respectful in the way in which you approach me, it also shows just that you find me to be so desirable to you that you will risk that potential embarrassment. It shouldn't be embarrassing, but you know, I realize it can be. But you find me so desirable that you will risk that embarrassment just to come and talk to me. And making a Black woman in particular feel desirable is so important, because for so long we have lived in a world that has told us that we are undesirable, or if we are desirable, it's only if we fit like a certain mold of desirability. So if you can make us feel desirable to you, like you're winning. You're winning. Okay, so number 2 is kind of an old school way. It's kind of traditional, but I still think that it works. And that is buying something, purchasing something for that Black woman. So if you're in the coffee shop and you see this woman, buy her a cup of coffee or a tea or a muffin or something along those lines. If you're in the bookstore, purchase a book for her. I know that, you know, buying something, like putting your hard-earned money out there and putting it towards a stranger seems like, you know, just like, it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot to ask for. But again, it goes back to that impression that you're making. It demonstrates your confidence. It also demonstrates your kindness. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, believe that if you do something out of kindness, out of general and genuine generosity, that money that you lost, it will come back to you, and it will likely come back to you tenfold. And the reason why I feel like this is such a great idea is because I've had this happen to me before, where I was in a coffee store and a guy offered to buy me coffee, and then we started talking and so forth. And it's just sweet on so many levels. Like, it goes back to that desirability. It shows that I am desirable to him. Also, it shows that like he is willing to, in this particular way, provide for me. And I'm not the type of woman who thinks that the man should be the sole provider in a relationship, but I know there are a lot of women, especially a lot of Black women, who do believe that. And that's such a great way early on in a pretty low stakes way to show your ability to provide. And also, it's just one of those things where, like, even if she says no, which is very possible, she may say no, I can guarantee you that that has left an imprint on her, and she probably called a girlfriend after she left the store and told her what happened. Like, I know for a fact that that is going to leave an impression on her, and regardless if she takes you up on that offer or not, she is going to be impressed. And so much of like the dating world is just making good impressions and doing things that put you outside of your comfort zone so that you can boost up your confidence until you find that proper person for you. Now, for the men out there who are interested in romantically pursuing a Black woman that, like, you kind of know who's kind of like an acquaintance to you, someone who is like on the perimeter, who's around, or who is on the perimeter of like your social scene, your environment. I hope that makes sense. Like someone that you know, but you don't really know. You see them, but you don't always talk to them, or if you do, it's very short and just like very superficial conversation. Those types of people, like the coworkers, the people in like the offices that you have to go into to pay a bill or to apply for something, things along those lines. Just the people like on your social perimeter. That's, for whatever reason, that's the only way I can think to describe this. But I would highly encourage you, if you're interested in a woman who falls under that category, that you really take the time to get to know them and to build a friendship with them. And I say that because A, it's just good for you in dating to try and make friendships. Like, friendships are the foundation of the strongest relationships. So it's good for you. But also, it's one of the things where for Black women, for so long, we have been conditioned to just have our guard up, especially when it comes to men. And some of the reasons are very valid reasons. And then, you know, some of the reasons are just rooted in misinformation and just in fear. But with all of that being said, there are a lot of Black women who are just naturally skeptical, and they're skeptical of men, and they're especially skeptical of non-Black men. And for my fourth tip, I want you to ask yourself, if you are a non-Black man who is considering dating, pursuing a non-Black woman, I want you to really ask yourself why. Like, I want you to discern whether or not you are genuinely interested in being in a relationship with a Black woman, or is this some sort of experiment that you are just testing out to basically stroke your own ego. So I want you to be sure that if you are pursuing a Black woman, or if you're interested in pursuing Black women, that again, this isn't just some type of sexual conquest that you're after, because we're objectified enough as is. Like, you don't have to join in, you know, I mean, get in line, like, get in line. We're objectified enough as is. So we don't need you, you know, we just don't need that. And so I really want you to just think about, what are you here for? Like, what are you here for? Because Black women are just, we're let down so much. We are let down so much by the men in and around our lives. And if you're not coming over here to do something good for a positive reason with positive intentions, then please just go about your way and your day. Now, one thing that you probably noticed throughout these tips is that they are applicable to women of all races, and men of all races can use these tips to approach women of all races. And that is the point. That's the point. We are all the same with slight variations, but we are all the same. We all want love. We all want to be validated. We all want to feel like we belong. That's it. That is the human experience. That is the human condition. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.